Alright, Shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Harakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to all the hopeful elect brothers that's doing the will of the Lord in sincerity and in truth. Now, this is someone in Japan, in the Japanese media, explaining what taco means, right? And this is referred to Trump, and this is prophecy coming to pass. I'm gonna play the video, and then I'm gonna get Habakkuk chapter 2. This is on the caption says Japanese media explains how Trump is a taco, and this is shameful spewing. I'm gonna play the video and get the scripture.
トランプ always チキンズアウト。トランプ always チキンズアウト。
Okay.
トランプ
Trump always chickens out, and this is referring to Trump. You know, he because they want the Strait of Hormuz to reopen. He said he was gonna basically demolish and destroy the whole place. You know, all of Iran. You know, he's gonna wipe it off the map. But then he kept on increasing the deadline. Let me get. Sorry, let me take this off. Let me get Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. And let me jump down to verse 16. Because this is prophecy coming to pass, believe it or not. This right here. And it's not just Japan that's mocking or saying how this guy is a complete disgrace, because that's all it is. Shameful spewing. It's the whole world. It's not only just Japan, but he's now the taco man. And I took some notes, and I said that Lord will make a video on how the world doesn't need America anymore. For one example, China said, they've been here for 5,000 years, and they were good without America, and they'll be fine. They should be fine after America. And another point is the European nations, right? They're stopping their use. Basically, they're cutting ties from using U.S. technology. And another example of how America's dominance over the world is going away. Esau's rulership is about to end. That's the nations that's in Africa. I forgot which one. Maybe it was Mali or Niger, or it's in that region. They're developing their own energy. Their own energy plant. So these are just like three basic examples of how Esau Edom's dominance over the earth, which it really starts with America, because that's the head of Esau's rulership, right? Babylon the Great, America, which once that's destroyed, that's it, and the elites won't climb out of the bunkers and then start ruling again. No, that's not going to happen. But it says Japanese media explains how Trump is a taco. Trump always chickens out because he kept on increasing the deadline to where he said he was going to wipe Iran off the map. So they're calling him a disgrace and basically a punk. But Iran is winning the war. Let me get it. Let me shut up and let me get it. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Now, what is the vision? The vision is a prophecies, because the prophets received prophecies from the Lord through visions and dreams. The Lord gave them prophecies, events that would happen in the future through visions and dreams. They would actually see it. They would see it and then they would write it down. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. And back then they had scrolls, and the Lord kept record of the scriptures, and then he eventually put the spirit on man to compile it into the Bible. You have the books of Moses, the Torah, and then you have the history, and then you have the prophets, you have the Gospels, the epistles. The Lord put the spirit on men, which is an Israelite man. King James. King James was a so-called black man. He's an Israelite, right? And the scriptures was written, over the course of hundreds of years. So this is definitely the book of the Most High, for his people, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3. For the vision is set for an appointed time. So the prophecies are set for an appointed time to happen, meaning that the prophecies that the prophets had in the past, hundreds to thousands of years ago, a lot of them are set to happen now. That I'm talking about the end time prophecies, in which a major one is the MOTB, mandatory implementation of the RFID CHIP, which that's concerning the NWO and the destruction of Babylon the Great, the destruction of the land that's occupied by Amalek, if you know what I mean, and the second coming of our Lord Yahushua. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, and this is leading up to the fall and destruction of Babylon, which is an end time prophecy, which is happening right now. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. So the Lord set prophecies to happen at a certain time. Like how you said a doctor's appointment. You set a doctor's appointment for Friday at 12 p.m. in the noon. If you go there at 10 a.m., they're going to say, why are you here? Your appointment, your doctor's visit for your foot or for a common doctor checkup, for a common health checkup, isn't set until 12, which is 2 hours later. They're going to say you're early. You're going to have to wait. But if you go at 2 p.m., they're going to tell you it's too late, because the appointed time, just like a doctor's appointment, it's set for that time to happen. You're supposed to be there by 12 p.m. For the vision, which is the prophecies, is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. So the end, we're at the end, and it's speaking right now. We're in the last days. We're in the end of the last days. The prophecies of the MOTBs coming to pass. The countdown to WW3, which is gonna lead up to the destruction of Babylon the Great. That's coming to pass, and the shameful spewing, which this is prophecy coming to pass. I'm gonna read chapter 16, and not so speaking means it's happening and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it. Though it seemed like there was a delay, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So it's here, you know. And let me read chapter 16. Highlight it. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory, because this is a shame upon DJT and all of America, to be honest. Drink thou also, let thy foreskin be uncovered, meaning that you're exposed. You know, they're being exposed. For one example right now is the JEP files, you know, in which this whole thing with Iran might be a huge distraction away from it, you know, to divert the attention away from it, because millions of files have been released, or a million files. So imagine, you know, the names that they redacted means uh uh they blotted it out, and there are many more files, many more videos of them sacrificing to Satan, eating babies, you know. uh I don't want to go on anymore on that topic, but drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. Babylon is being exposed, you know. Esau is being exposed. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, which the cup of the Lord's right hand represents judgment, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. Shameful spewing. Let me get shameful spewing. Uh, Shameful spewing is qua quaya qualal. No, I'm sorry. Quaya qualwan. Shameful, intense disgrace. Intense disgrace. And it says, uh, when you go into it, ignominy. And I actually looked this word up, and it's way harsher than just shameful spewing. When you look the word, you know, ignominy up, it's way more intense. You know, it when you read the definition, it hurts a lot more. You know, shameful spewing. This is an example of shameful spewing, which all the world is shamefully spewing against DJT and Babylon the Great.
always chickens out.
Trump always chickens out. Okay, that's one, right? That's one. Uh, and the other example is Melanie Trump public statement that happened, I believe yesterday or day before yesterday, which she's a first lady. That's his, that's his wife, which makes her the first lady. About her being a former EP girl. So the truth is out, and now it's shameful spewing time. The nation's calling him Taco Man. Let me get this. Wow, that's crazy. History. I'm gonna get this. get ignominy and okay. So this is this is ignominy, right? No, I'm sorry. Let me get this. It says this is from 9 hours ago, so it happened yesterday. Uh, EP. I don't want to say the whole word because they might mute my. I hate that. I made some very edifying videos and they muted it. They took the sound off, and I would retry. I would try to upload it again and again and again, and then and and then and then it was the same outcome. Like they mute the sound because whatever the message I was bringing out, it it really hurts these people, reviewing it, or the AI that's reviewing that was reviewing it. EP survivors criticized Melania Trump after surprise statement. U.S. Politics Live. Fir- First Lady had called for a public hearing for survivors about a group of those affected say they have done their part and reiterates calls for Pan Bondi to be questioned. So shifting burden onto victims. So she's saying that she had nothing to do with him and she met him basically when she was with DJT, that they met Epstein together for the first time. She met him together for the first time when she was already with DJT. As part of her statement distancing herself from the disgraced financier and disgrace, shameful spewing, ignominy from AI Overview refers to deep personal humiliation, public disgrace, or total loss of reputation, right? Signifies a state of dishonor often stemming from a shameful behavior or a disastrous event. And the EP files being released as shameful behaviors because it shows them worshiping Satan, kidnapping children and people, having hunting parties where they hunt Jake and also other people too. And then the survivors have been trying to you know trying to get justice for years, but now is the time that the Lord have it have it revealed to the whole world, because time for everything there's a time for everything to happen under the sun. That's Ecclesiastes, the third chapter. Shameful behavior or a disastrous event. So these are two examples of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 16 as part of her statement distancing herself from the disgraced financier and DJT and Babylon as a whole, you know, is at a is in disgrace right now. The First Lady also called on Congress to take a sworn testimony in a public hearing from EP victims. Several victims did meet with the House Oversight Committee in a closed session last fall. But on Thursday evening, in a joint statement released to the media, a group of survivors said the First Lady had moved to protect those in power, in which they are gonna do that, and no one's gonna get charged. That was mentioned in the EP files because the Most High has a greater judgment set for them. The Most High has a greater judgment set for these wicked people that sacrifice to Satan. All the people that's on high, these world leaders, these famous celebrities, that went to the island and then you know, perform satanic rituals, worship Moloch and Baal. Survivors of EP, I'm going to say that, have already shown extraordinary courage by coming forward following reports and giving testimony. Asking more of them now is a deflection of responsibility, not justice. So this whole thing is they are they are disgraced. It also diverts attention from former Attorney General Pam Bondi, who must answer for withheld files and the exposure of survivors' identities. Those failures continue to put lives at risk while shielding enablers. Survivors have done their part. Now it's time for those in power to do theirs. Okay, so it said that on Thursday, which is yesterday, April 9th. Now it's April 10th, 2026. She never had a relationship with the late SE offender EP and his accomplice G Ma. It sounds like a rapper or a no, it sounds like a Chinese rapper or a South Korean rapper. I just shortened it because I want this video to have sound. It was unclear which specific accusations spurred the First Lady to respond publicly. She delivered her scripted remarks at a podium in the same room Donald Trump used to address the nation on the war in Iran last week. I have never been friends with Epstein, Trump said in her statement. My bad, I just said it. I am not EP victim. EP did not introduce me to DJT. That's the end of the lesson. Shameful spewing, disgrace. You know. Let me see if I could get. I don't have much time. Okay, so this is spew definition: forcing or flowing out in a fast, consistent, or messy manner. Figuratively, spew insults. Taco Man is an insult. He said, "Torompo, Torompo, Torompo always chickens out." Okay, that sounded more Russian than Japanese. I'm so sorry. My Japanese isn't there yet. I've been practicing. As I want to learn more languages, Northern Kingdom, they know Spanish and English. But Jake's here, if you're not an immigrant from somewhere else, then you most likely just know English or American English. That's the end of the lesson. Lord was edifying. I'm out of time. All praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh. Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Arakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom.